Okay guys, lesson number 6. This is our last lesson before spring break. You'll have your edge elastic to do after this, but this is solving quadratics by factoring. Okay, it says, in many cases we can find the solutions. The other words for solutions, I know it's annoying and weird that they use so many words for the same thing, but it is also a root, a zero, or an x-intercept. So to find the solutions of a quadratic equation, we can find it by factoring rather than graphing. So what you did in the previous lesson, you either graphed it by hand or using Desmos, which is the smarter way to do it, and you found where it crossed the x-axis. So we're just gonna use what we know about factoring now to solve. Here's our steps. It says set the quadratic equation equal to 0. So instead of y equals, we're gonna have it be 0 equals, because that's what we're looking for, is when does that quadratic function equal 0, right? When does it cross at the x-axis? When is x 0? Now we're gonna factor. So this goes back to all the things we've been doing before we had this crazy break, and maybe a little bit, I think, after we got done with school. So we're just factoring. So what multiplies to make a negative 10 adds to make a positive 3. And so that's x plus 5 and x minus 2. And now you just take both of those. So it says set each factor, so each of these equal to 0. And so you get x equals negative 5, x equals positive 2. And then we write it as a solution set using your curly brackets. So x equals negative 5, 2. That's the answer. So I'm just going to kind of like scan down the page and see if there's any on here that are a little bit scary that we maybe need help with. I feel like you can do all of those. Just remember you're looking for what multiplies to make that third term and adds to make the second one. On the next part, some of this might get a little bit confusing. Just remember you have to look for a GCF always first. So like number 9, if I have my x, I pull an x out for GCF, I get x minus 8 equals 0. So now setting both of these equal to 0, I'm gonna get x equals 0 and x equals a positive 8, right? Same with this next one. 3x is my GCF, and I have x plus 5 equals 0, and then just take both of those. 3x equals 0, and x plus 5 equals 0. And when you solve for that, you'll get x equals 0, and x equals negative 5. Oh, if you guys were in school with me, you'd be hollering at me to put them in my curly brackets. 13 is a difference of squares. Okay, watch that one. And okay, now they're not in standard form in the bottom part. All you have to do is get it into standard form first. So that just means I need to subtract my 21 over. So x squared plus 4x minus 21 equals 0. You've got to get it in that ax squared plus bx plus c form. So it says move it first, then factor it, and then solve it. So now what multiplies to make negative 21 adds to make a positive 4, and that is x plus 7 and x minus 3. Set them both equal to 0 and solve. So x is going to be negative 7 and a positive 3. Cool? Okay. Good luck.